So, diving into Japanese real estate, especially with Akiya, it's like exploring a hidden treasure chest. Lots of potential, but definitely not without its complexities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a market of contrasts, right? Urban centers versus rural areas, each with its own set of opportunities and challenges.
Exactly. In the urban centers like Tokyo or Osaka, you get high rental demand, but then you're staring at higher property prices. While out in the countryside, Akiya are more affordable, but come with less reliable rental income.
So it's almost like choosing between a luxury sports car and a classic vintage. Both have their appeal, but require different kinds of care.
Right. And the process usually starts with deep research. You need to look into local government initiatives and those dedicated Akiya banks to dig up listings and potential subsidies.
Yeah, those incentives are cool, like reduced property taxes or renovation grants. It's kind of like getting a discount on a fixer-upper if you're willing to roll up your sleeves.
Exactly, but let's
Yeah.
remember Akiya often need like major renovations, which can sometimes cost more than the property itself. It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
True, and that's where a lot of investors get a bit wary. Those repair costs and maintenance, the listing might be cheap, but then there's the hidden financial burden.
Right? And not to mention the physical challenges like Japan's humid climate can result in mold, pests, and just general deterioration if you don't keep a proper maintenance routine.
And speaking of maintenance, that's an ongoing cost that can really eat into potential profits, especially if the property isn't quickly turned into something marketable.
Exactly. And then we have the legal side of things. For instance, foreigners can definitely buy property in Japan, but owning a home there doesn't give you residency. So it's basically an investment under a very different set of rules.
Right, so you have to stay on top of those bureaucratic processes, not just the contract and notarization, but um, local registration with the Legal Affairs Bureau too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always smart to work with bilingual agents and even legal professionals. You definitely don't want to misstep on any of those technical details and regulations.
The teamwork aspect is key here. Partnering with local experts helps you navigate like the intricacies of zoning laws and ownership disputes, which can be, really nasty if left unresolved.
Exactly. And a point worth noting is that Akiya sometimes come with complicated histories. Things like unclear ownership or family disputes can really bog down the entire transaction process.
Yeah, that's an important consideration. And, while government incentives are a plus, I sometimes wonder if they're enough to offset those challenges. What do you think?
I get your point, and while the subsidies can help, they might not fully cover the massive renovation expenses or the costs from prolonged maintenance in remote locations.
hmm It seems like a balancing act. You weigh the initial low price against potential hidden costs down the line.
Exactly. And then there's also the financing side. In Japan, many transactions are cash based because securing a mortgage as a foreigner can be pretty challenging unless you have, permanent residency or a very stable income there.
Right? Which means you need to be super prepared financially or have alternative funding strategies if you want to jump into this market.
Absolutely. And thinking about targeting the right market is key too. If you're aiming for rental income, you'll likely want to focus on areas with tourism, cultural landmarks, or job growth.
Yeah. Markets around tourist attractions or even near resorts like Niseko, for instance, might offer better rental returns despite being in a rural setting.
Exactly. But it's like choosing the right canvas for your masterpiece. You need to align the property's location with your investment goals, whether that's personal use, rental income, or eventual resale.
Absolutely, and reselling seems particularly tricky given Japan's rural depopulation trends. It's almost like buying a piece of a slowly vanishing piece of history.
Yeah, definitely. The market potential for resale in depopulating areas is limited. You need to have a long term vision, really commit to the strategy, and hope that future developments might breathe new life into these regions.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of long-term visions, the exchange rate plays a big role too, right? A weak yen can make these investments more appealing for international buyers.
Yes, that's an excellent point. Favorable exchange rates combined with government incentives can actually tilt the balance towards making a profitable investment despite all the inherent challenges.
Right, it's all interconnected. Market trends, long-term planning, and even external economic factors. It really underscores the need for meticulous due diligence, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And one practical tip is to start small. Test the waters with a less expensive Akiya, get a feel for the market, and then expand as you learn from the local dynamics.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like dipping your toe in before taking the dive.
Exactly. And remember too that technology can be a great ally. Using virtual tours, drone footage, and staying updated on regional developments can really give you an edge.
Right, this level of technological integration is really reshaping how we approach real estate investments. It's not just about being hands on, it's about being smart with information.
Absolutely. And staying informed is crucial. You have to keep an eye on demographic trends, local infrastructure projects, and any shifts in the regulatory landscape.
Mm-hmm. Every detail counts. And maybe that's where the real challenge lies, integrating all these different factors into a coherent investment strategy.
Yeah, it's like juggling multiple balls at once. You want the right vision, the right local partnerships, and the right timing all harmonized together.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a pretty bold move. I mean, do you think this approach is sustainable in the long run, or is it just a niche opportunity?
That's a good question. I'd say it's sustainable if you're in it for the long haul and really understand the local terrain. The risk is there, no doubt, but with careful planning, it can be a lucrative venture.
Yeah, that makes sense. It feels like more of a specialized field for savvy investors rather than a mainstream option.
Totally agree. And for those who are up for the challenge, embracing both the opportunities and the hurdles, Japanese Akiya investments could be quite rewarding.
Absolutely. A balanced mix of potential and pitfalls. It's all about weighing them carefully before making a move.